Hey everyone, this is Robert. Thank you for tuning in to the show once again. And yeah, we're just now almost at the end of March, which is kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, it's just been a really crazy, chaotic year so far for a bunch of different reasons. But regardless, we're still here. We're still just kicking through and just enjoying life to the fullest. And what better way to celebrate the occasion than with my I mean, I'm pretty sure this is like the first like kind of on camera thing that she's done, but I do have a returning guest here. This is Ella. Thank you so much for joining me, and whom I've
Hey,
also had the pleasure of working with on a bunch of different stuff over the years. So yeah, how is it going on your side of town?
it's gone pretty good, I think. Like you said, this year already, it's already just started, but it's already lots just happening. But I think I've been pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. It's just a lot of good, a lot of bad. So it's pretty much life in general. So we
Yeah.
gotta make what we gotta make the best of what we are able to do within our control. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess to start this off, how would you say that this year, like I know that a lot's been going on, but how would you say that your 2026 has been, just as far as VO, live, just tell us a little bit about your year in a nutshell as of end of March.
So for a lot of last year, for 4 months, and then into this year, just the very beginning of January, I was like in Florida doing the Disney College program. So that was, I mean, it was interesting for my voiceover stuff. It was interesting just because I had to make sure I was able to record in a different environment than I'm used to. But other than that, it was definitely like I think overall it was a good experience. Then coming back, I got into the swing of auditioning again because I wasn't really auditioning too much when I knew my audio probably wouldn't be at its best. But now I'm auditioning again. I'm mostly focusing on paid stuff, which is a change from like the last time we talked on the podcast, which to be fair was a pretty long time ago now.
Oh no, it definitely was a while back. I don't even remember what when we even did that last one, but
That
yeah,
was
I mean
forever ago.
it really was. So I really also think that, yeah, like, since we last spoke, I've also been doing like a lot of different stuff. Like, I know right now I'm in my jacket, which it's a sign that yes, it is still coming. So just play for your life. And yeah, just a bunch of different stuff that's going to be coming out pretty soon. And in the midst of all of it, still auditioning, still trying to catch up with the casting calls whenever I have a moment to do it because now it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm in my booth all day, but then I also edit, I show run something, and yeah, I pretty much juggle a lot of different ads, so to
Mm.
speak. So yeah, I guess. Oh, sorry, did I?
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I guess with all of that said, let's get down to the questions, and this should be pretty interesting because I did write down some questions, but I'm also gonna be asking off the cuff ones, which I typically do. So, yeah, this
Mm.
should be pretty interesting indeed. So, I'm pretty sure that for those that may not have seen the last, I don't blame you because I think it was like a pretty long interview.
It
So,
was so long. I felt really bad.
no worries. So I guess to really bring this back for those that didn't catch the last one, what was something that got you started on your, I guess, creative journey, and who was very instrumental to you over the years that you've
I'd
been doing
say,
this?
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'd say that I don't know what it was, but I originally what happened was I had nothing to do with voiceover other than every once in a while when I did like impressions of cartoons as a kid, my brother would be like, "That should be your job," and I had no clue what he was talking about because I didn't realize that was an actual job that someone could have because I was young enough to not really realize the things I'm watching have to be made and recorded at some point. But then I moved at some point from California to Pennsylvania where I live now, and I don't know what it was, but I saw like a casting call for a fan dub of like Fire Emblem Fates, which I will continue to defend as not being that bad. So that I recorded it. I for some reason got accepted, even though I was using my MacBook microphone at the time, like the one that comes with the laptop. So the audio quality wasn't exactly great. And I realized I really enjoyed doing it. So I started auditioning just for a bunch of stuff, almost entirely just fan projects, doing impressions of characters I like. And I continued to just find out how much I enjoyed it. And so I realized that this could be something that, if I enjoy it this much, I would like to be able to do it as a career, hopefully, and just at least do it consistently enough that when I do it, I have fun, and when I do it, I hopefully get paid for it. And sometimes I do get paid for it, and I love when that happens.
Yeah, and I believe the second part of that was who was also very instrumental to you
Right.
on your journey.
Um, well, I mean, it's a cliche thing to be like, I want to thank my family, but I do just because in general they've been very supportive of me and all of this. They haven't like pressured me to be like, well, that's not a real job. You should look for something else to do. I mean, they're encouraging me to look for other things in the meanwhile because making money is important, but they're never going to be like, no, you don't, like, you can't do this. No, no child of mine is going to be a voice actor. Oh, disgusting. Other than that, there's a lot of voice actors who are very influential in terms of just me finding out what the industry is, how it exists, and then seeing how talented all of these people are. I think one of the first voice actors that I realized was like a voice actor in multiple things I like was Laura Bailey, interestingly enough, because I really liked I really liked Fire Emblem and I really liked Dragon Ball Z, and I realized that there was a common thread between those two, at least at the time. She doesn't voice Trunks anymore. Now it's looks tipped in, but at the time she was Kid Trunks, and also she still is Lucina, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's the same woman. That's amazing." And I love both of those. And then most people who know me are expecting me to say it, and I will. There are a lot of voice actors who, again, I admire very deeply and have gotten the pleasure of meeting at conventions and such. And one of the big ones is it's Rob Paulson. He's he's always been so kind every time I've met him at a convention in person. He remembers me, which is nuts to me because it's like, wow, you actually remember who I am as a person, which I'm sure plenty of people wouldn't. Although voice actors are better about it, I've noticed, than probably people who get to see a million different fans for being in like a big budget movie. But he remembers who I am. He's always been so kind to me whenever I've asked for advice. And he was, funny enough, another one of the earliest examples of me kind of noticing, huh, people can be voiced by the same person in multiple things I watched. Like, I didn't realize it at the time, but as a kid, I watched Jimmy Neutron, and he was Carl, and I watched Danny Phantom, and he was multiple characters, but the one I noticed sounding similar was the Box Ghost, and I was like, those two sound similar. That's weird. And then I found out, oh, that was the same guy. And then I looked further, and I was like, oh, that, like everyone's the same guy. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's really funny because I do want to share my Rob Paulson story just real quick.
Do it.
So yeah, because I think when we last spoke, I was like, man, I really wish I could have met these guys. But I did finally meet Rob, but still am looking forward to meeting the rest of those guys. So, yeah, but I think it was, I bought his, and I do have his book right here, Voice
Uh,
Lessons, and I wish.
I've got the book somewhere in the background over there too.
Yeah, I got it like in my, I wish I could just grab it, but nah. But
It's a
I
fantastic
really,
book.
it really is. And apparently the audiobook, which I haven't listened to, is just mwah, chef's kiss is so much
Either
because you
I need
get
to
to
listen.
hear. Yeah, it's like one where you really got to listen in order to really feel like the full extent of his battle with throat cancer. So I'm just really happy that he's just, he's still, he's still around and he's like, still being, I know you're right. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, like seriously, so much happening. But it's just like one of those things where I'm like, man, he went through all this and he's still, I mean, he could still sing. He's still doing those Animaniacs live, just
Which,
concerts with.
yeah, I've been to Animaniacs Live twice.
Yeah, I went once. It was like 2 years or so ago, but
It's been a
luckily
while.
it was like right around my city, so it all worked out for the best for my family. So, yeah, but going fast forward to like last year, it was Nostalgia Con here in Anaheim, and I met him finally, and I was like, oh my, I'm actually gonna see this dude. What?
I know,
So
right?
I was kind of, admittedly, I was a little nervous, and then I asked him to sign like the voice lessons, and yeah, he just could not be any nicer. Just the
I know.
sweetest. Yeah, I still adore him to bits, and I'm happy 70th. Like, that is still kind of insane that
I
he's
know.
the big 70, which, wow, man. And, I mean, it kind of reminds me that I'm still amazed that so many like actors that I've listened to on TV, and they're like, Billy West is like 70
Yeah, he's
in
still
his
going
like,
too.
and he's still going. Tom Kenny, Jim Cummings, all these guys. Frank
Maurice LaMarche.
Welker, yeah, Maurice, Frank Welker, who's 80 now,
Oh my
which
God, yeah.
just blows my mind. And I'm just like, all these people that I've listened to, I've gotten to meet most of them at this. Well, not all of them, but like the majority of my, like, the Mount Rushmore of actors that I've listened to over and over
Mm.
and over again as a kid. So that's really neat. And it's really interesting that you did mention Laura Bailey, because I mean, well, I didn't. I
I
still
have not
would
met
love to.
her either. I
Yeah, I
really
still
want
would
to.
love to meet all of the Critical Role guys. I mean, for real.
Yeah. I want to meet Matt Mercer real bad.
Yeah, it's like it's so crazy because all of them are in LA, but I keep saying this, please come to an LA local convention. Seriously. I mean, they travel all over, but not,
Right.
which anyways, cuz another I mean, like, I never met Laura, but the funny thing about it is, like, I was listening to like the Smash Brothers, like she was Lucina, and then
Right.
I started finding out more of her work, and I'm like, wait a minute, she was Blaze from like Sonic, and
Yeah, she was
you
Blaze
know,
in '06. Was it
yeah.
'06? No, was it '06? It
No,
was
it was Erica.
yeah,
No, it was
it,
Laura. She,
right. She
and
was
then it
'06.
was, sorry,
Generations was her.
Generations was her, and then it was
That
Erica.
was Gen.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that was Laura. Like
That
Generations
was
that you just said. But yeah, then I found out that, like, oh, she was in this, but Kid Trunks I never knew, and she was also in like the anime Fruits Basket, which I also really
oh
like.
yeah.
Yeah, that show from like way back when, and she even reprised it.
I love when that
Yeah,
happens.
she came back. Yeah, because I know with Laura, like, I know she's been really busy with LA and raising a kid with Travis.
Right.
So, but it's really nice that she was able to come back because she really loves the show so much, which is really
Mhm.
nice. Yeah, I'm kind of somebody that is like, man, if a character, like, if I hear an actor, like, if I hear a certain voice, it's like, okay, yeah, that fits the character. Then when somebody else is there, it's like, it doesn't really feel quite the same to
I
me.
know.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
there's
just
a
kind of
difference
like that.
between some characters who like are constantly getting different voices depending on the interpretation, but there's always probably going to be one that when you think of it, you hear that voice in your head.
It's just iconic and unmistakable. Like,
Right.
Kevin Conroy as Batman or Mark Hamill as
Of
Joker.
course.
Like, they are just like, enough said.
They're
Like,
the best ones.
the bet. Yeah, it's like when you hear somebody else's Batman, it just. I mean, no, and I'm not saying this
No,
to
yeah.
disrespect anyone, but it's like, man, the magic, like, ah, man. I'm not saying that, like, oh, they're not as good, but it's like, and like, even when you talk to the actors that have done Batman over the years, because you could
Most of them will
talk to
be
them and
like,
they're
yeah,
like,
but Kevin Conroy was really
yeah,
good.
I just couldn't do it. Like, when you say talk to Bob Bergen, who's Porky, like, they could all
Right.
say that none of them can really
They're not
they
Mel Blanc.
they're not Mel, exactly, but they
They're all
do it
trying to
with
be
the
him, which honestly, some of the time, it I can't even tell the difference.
yeah, and they do put their own spin on the characters,
It's amazing.
which is very important if you're doing impression. So that's kind of something that we both kind of stumbled upon. It's like,
Yeah.
look, I know that I can't really be like Roger or Jason or Ryan when I'm doing Sonic, but I'm just doing my
Right.
own take. I mean, everybody, like, a lot of the actors that I've worked with do their own interpretation of a character, which
A lot
is
of the time
very
something
key.
like you'll start out with like the original interpretation as some sort of a base, but then the more you
Mhm.
play it, the more of yourself goes into it.
Exactly. But yeah, just wanted to go on that.
Mm.
But yeah, going back to Laura, fruits. Then it was also the DBZ, like you mentioned, which I didn't find out until like a while later, and I didn't even know that she was in Yu Yu Hakusho. And that, yeah, that show
That makes
takes me
sense.
way back. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was like one of her very first role, but I mean, when it comes to voice acting, but I know it was definitely one of the first major ones that she worked on.
Mm.
Um, in fact, let me see.
it's fun hearing like the earliest roles and they're just in there for 2 seconds. And then you're like, oh my God, if only you knew.
Yeah. Okay, so it was Toru and Fruits Basket, and it's Kiko. That's her name. Yeah,
Mm.
from Yu Yu Hakusho. But it's really fun when you watch like the older anime from like the 90s or 2000s, and then you just watch how it was. I don't want to say that it was brand new, like with voice acting, but like with Funimation and all those shows, it's like
Times
they
have
were just
changed.
kind of starting to get their bearing, and it's really
Right.
nice to hear them like take their first steps. And now, I mean, Critical Role again. I mean, come on.
Everyone in Critical Role is super talented. It's really funny to me because I knew who pretty much every single person in that cast was before Critical Role made them like a huge deal for just
Yeah,
quote unquote normal people. Like for like in the public eye for people who aren't already interested in voice acting, a lot of the time they'll be like, "Who's that?" But then you'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's Matt Mercer." And they're like, "Oh yeah, the guy from Critical Role." And I'm like,
yeah.
"Yep,
Hmm.
the
It
guy from
just,
Critical Role." Meanwhile, I'm just it's just like that's Crom Fire Emblem, man. I don't know what to tell you.
man, it's just Matt. Speaking of people with incredible range, like Matt is just a monster, dude.
He's so good. I want to
Yeah.
meet him so bad. He's so good.
Yeah, and he seems like a pretty chill dude. And
He
also, I'm
does.
just jealous of his hair, just that gorgeous hair of his.
He does have really nice hair.
Yeah, I know exactly. Like, I feel like he should probably be like a. He looks like a guy that you probably do like rock or like a singer, like
He
like
does.
yeah. That's what I know. He probably gets that a lot, so it's probably nothing new to him. So yeah. But I do want to also ask you, what is something that you do very much appreciate after doing this for many years with YouTube, just everything that you do?
So, something that I appreciate is, like I said, voice acting, it makes me genuinely so happy to be able to do it. Being able to make, like, not only being able to play a character, because acting in general is just something I like doing, and oh, my pop filter almost fell down. We're good. So, not only is acting something I just enjoy doing, I also appreciate that when you're voice acting, all the parts about acting that I don't like as much are gone because I don't like putting on like uncomfortable costumes or makeup. But when you're voice acting, you can do all the fun stuff of it without having to do any of that, which is great. But the biggest thing I appreciate about voice acting is something that I've seen voice actors who I've gotten to meet, they're able to do it for other people, including me, and it's that you can make someone smile by just saying something in a voice you're putting on. Just being able to say one word or phrase, and suddenly everyone in the room just they light up, they're smiling, they're happy. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things someone can do to just, you're happy now, perfect, everyone's smiling just with your voice. I love that. I think it's amazing.
I know, like, if Rob Paulson, all he had to do is say "Narf" as
No, yeah,
Pinky.
that's all he does, and then everyone's just like, "Hey, you said the thing," and I'm just like, that's
It's
my
kind of
exact
like,
reaction every time.
yes.
I'm just like,
Yeah,
you said the
I know
thing.
he said the thing. I know.
You said the no.
Yeah, he said the "Narf." Narf. It kind of also remind because at the same convention, and I also almost forgot to mention this, but okay, so I do have his signature, but Tom Kenny, who is needs no introduction, was
He's
also
Tom Kenny. I think even he's also one of the names where it's like even in the general like public eye that people have where they're not 100% interested in voice actors as much as say either of us. Most people will still know who Tom Kenny is because he's like it's SpongeBob.
yeah, and it's so weird, just like because you've heard him like be SpongeBob for like
Yeah,
so many years at that
and then he
point.
just talks like a normal guy, and then he does the voice, and he just looks like a normal person.
Yeah, he does, but it's really weird when you actually hear it in person. Just because like he had a, I mean, of course, like both Tom and Rob have long lines because
Yeah,
yeah. And like during that time, it was like sometimes he would just break out into it. Like he's been doing it for so long that sometimes it just kind of comes naturally to him. And
hmm.
especially if you've been doing it for like over 25 years,
Oh
because
yeah,
that
of
is one of
course.
those characters that is, ooh, wow, yeah.
I've seen him
Kind of
compared to
hard
Mickey
to,
Mouse, and I agree. It's a very apt comparison. He's such like he's a character that so many people know just immediately.
yeah. But it's also a voice that is kind of really hard to sustain or really,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's real high. You got to maintain not only how high it is, but also how energetic he sounds.
Exactly. And it's so amazing that like not once, because for some voices, some of them like I don't want to say that they use like effects to like digitally pitch it like up and
Right.
down, but no, the entire time. Like when people are like, "Oh, SpongeBob's voice got higher like season 4, did they pitch it?" No, because he can naturally go that high. And
And his speaking
it
voice, to be
never
honest, is
flops.
also fairly high pitched. It's not like the highest pitched voice I've ever heard in the world, but it's not like when he talks, he has like a really deep voice where he's like, "Hello, yes, welcome."
Dude, that is like when I met Ryan Drummond, who is Sonic in like the Dreamcast games,
Oh my
because
God.
his yeah, his Sonic was like way up here, and then
Yeah.
when you talk to him, he's like
It's like,
down
yeah, what's
here, and
up?
I'm like, "Hey, I'm Ryan Drummond," and I'm like,
Whoa.
"Huh?
You are? Oh, okay, hi.
Okay, hey," and I was like, "Oh my god." This is like kind of like an in joke that I make with some friends. It's like, "Hey, you talk to Sonic," and but then he did voice Knuckles in one of the games. I think it was
Mm,
one of the games. I mean, I can kind of hear it, but yeah, I think his that is kind of crazy how his regular voice sounds closer to Knuckles, which is kind of wild to me. But I do know a lot of voice actors that can who naturally have deep voices, like Kevin Michael Richardson and
right.
all these
And
guys.
the ability he has
Tom
to make his
Hanks.
voice go high up is insane.
Yeah. Oh, who?
Kevin Michael Richardson, when he gets high pitched, is nuts.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What it just hit me. So he plays this villain on Samurai Jack, and he kind of talks a little like this, like the mon. Yeah, I'm gonna get you, Jack. And then I found out it was him, and I was like, "Hello, Ayo." So these people just amaze me, man. That's all
It's
I gotta
incredible.
say. Yeah. How would you say the voice acting helped you learn so much about yourself? If you don't mind me asking.
Mm. With voice acting, I mean, other than learning just a part of, like, I keep repeating myself, but also, like, other than learning so much of what it is I like doing and what it is I like about this, it's also, I've kind of learned, I mean, it makes sense, but I've learned about how my voice sounds because for years, I mean, a lot of people, most people don't like hearing themselves talk. And to this day, I mean, I still don't love hearing it, but you kind of get used to it. And the more I hear myself speak, the more I start figuring out, like, huh, so that's how I make myself sound like that. And a lot of voices I do don't really sound super similar to my voice because my voice is like somewhat deep, but a lot of characters I end up playing for people are higher and cuter sounding than how I sound. And so just not only like figuring out that I'm able to do that and that I have some form of a range, like it kind of surprised me. Like I don't want to be like, oh, I surprise myself with just how great I am, with how good my range is, but like the amount of characters I figured out that I was comfortable playing, that made me learn like, huh, I don't just like doing things that are close to myself. I like doing things that are like as different from me as possible, but also I don't mind when I play characters that are like me because they're like me. That's a little easier.
And could you think of like anything that, it could just be some random event in your life that reminds you why you just really love the arts? What would it be and why?
I mean, in general, every time I see anything AI generated and then see someone immediately being like, that's horrible. Here's the human made version of it. That reminds me that I love the arts and also simultaneously reminds me that I hate what people try to do to the arts. But also, whenever I see something new from like a new episode of a TV show I'm watching or like I read a book that I've never read before, I watch a movie I've never seen before, and just seeing the amount of effort and love that people put into what they make, that always reminds me just how much I love the arts and creation because I think it's beautiful that people can just have a message to say and instead of just being like, I'm gonna say it, they decide to wrap it up in all these different layers of storytelling, layers of art, of expression. I think it's beautiful that that's just something people decided to do one day, and they still do it.
Say no to AI, say yes to human beings.
Please, God. I saw that Sora is being taken down, the video generating platform. I'm so happy.
Good.
I am so happy about it. I saw people rejoicing and seeing people being happy about it just gives me hope as well because sometimes I'll see like, oh, this AI generated series that's entirely made by AI is like getting 1 million views and I'm just like, oh my God. But then I'll see people being like, that's horrible. I didn't watch it. I don't like it. Makes me remember that there are still so many people out there who refuse to watch things that don't have that heart behind it. And I'm not saying that like AI is an inherently bad idea for everything, because there's plenty of things I think it makes sense to do for, but when it comes to the arts, pretty much nothing.
Yeah, like it's like I said time and time again, you can have your little artificial robot that can just try to mimic like a person's likeness or their voice, but you just cannot. Like,
It
look,
won't
I
be
know it's
them.
more expensive, but you just have to hire. Just please, we're here, we're around, or if you can't
We want you to
afford,
hire us. We are begging you to hire us, please.
yeah, or just find like voiceover. Like, there's plenty of fish that are out there in the sea, so
Yeah,
just people would be more than happy to do it. Like, how about on a project and just, give your characters to life? But just please, just keep that garbage
it's so
out of my
awful.
art, please.
It's
Keep
so
it out of my
annoying too
media.
when they're like, "Oh, but like what if we want to have a voice of someone who's dead?" There are people who do impressions of people who are dead. And also, I know sometimes they're like, "Well, the family gave permission." I can't really say anything about that then, but it feels gross, and it not only feels gross, it's I think it's kind of unfair because voice actors already have to like sort of just compete, not compete in like a way where it's like, oh, we're all horrible to each other and none of us support each other. The voice acting community is a very supportive one, which I love, but in the end you still have to audition and see, like, put yourself up against other people and see how you fit into it. And I don't think it's fair that there are so many people who are putting in the work to audition and now they also have to compete with the dead.
Yeah, that is quite a way of putting it. I mean, like, when you really think about it, because the big examples that I could probably think of is like Jim Cummings when he had to take over for Winnie and Tigger. Because a
He
lot
does
of
a really
people,
good Sterling Holloway.
yeah, I mean he does, but like with him, but it's not like really so much the case as like with the Disney characters, like they just alternate like every other project or so. Like they
Yeah.
always tend to go with the same ones, but for the Looney Tune stuff, they do alternate
They alternate a
because
lot more
the reason for that is that they don't really want somebody to claim that they're like the next Mel Blanc or because like
because
they
no
had to,
one's gonna be the next Mel
yeah,
Blanc as much as some of us like wish we could.
yeah, and also for fees and stuff because as
Yeah.
Blank got a little, it was reaching in his autumn years. He kind of did, um, like I don't want to say anything about Blank, but understandably he wanted more. Like
More
he wanted
money.
to up his fee. Like yeah, and also like that was a part of his contract when he was with Warner Brothers. Like all
Right.
those years when he was exclusively voicing those cartoons. So yeah. I think they probably wanted to avoid like the just paying more or something like that. But
Which
which is kind of the case with a lot of companies, unfortunately.
which is,
But
yeah, unfortunate. Pay
yeah,
people what they deserve, please.
exactly. And also support artists,
Please.
please. Yeah. That also okay. And when you're talking about people who can do like high voices, Charlie Adler just also came to my mind. I mean, the dude can do like cow and then just switch between chicken, red guy, the Red Bull, not Red Bull,
Red Bull.
the baboon. Yeah, Red Bull. Imagine
It
that.
gives you wings.
Yeah, it gives you wings. Um, but no, he could just alternate between these four characters like
So
on a
fast
dime.
too.
Yeah, and Billy West on Futurama. Just
Yeah, voicing pretty much like so much of the main cast is just three people pretty much.
yeah, like there's Fry, Zoidberg, Professor, Zap Brannigan, dozens of other characters. And same with the rest of those guys. I just love them so much. So
I want to meet, like I have met, but I want to meet Bill West. I got to meet Billy West. His autograph is on my wall. I want to meet, I want to meet everyone else. I want to meet John DiMaggio real bad.
I know, yeah. So I think John was at NostalgiaCon, but yeah, I was only there for like
I know
four
what you mean.
hours, and I was like, okay, yeah, I just want to meet the people, just want to meet some of these people, but I think
I
I was
understand.
already kind of tapped out by like six or so.
It
And I was
happens
like, yeah, I'll just see him at another event in the future. But
one day.
Yeah, but I know Billy is supposed to be a nostalgia con in Anaheim this year, so Lord
Nice.
willing, I'll be able to attend and whatnot.
He was really nice. Pretty. I have not met a voice actor at a convention where I'm like, that person was awful. Like, I have never met someone who was like, ugh, terrible. Like, no, they've all been so polite and nice.
Yeah, I'm glad I haven't run into any yet. Yet.
Yeah,
It's always the yet that gets us.
yeah. Where it's like, they're never gonna have it, and then it happens. So, yet is important, or else you're gonna jinx it.
Yeah. Welcome to our world right now. But yeah, it's just kind of like I said, like we take life by stride. Like we have to separate the good and the bad, but
Right.
sometimes it can be really hard. But hey, that's what we got this crazy mic
Yeah.
stuff for. But speaking of media, I try my best to not be super distracted by the Back to the Future poster, but that kind of gives me the question of like media, just any favorite shows, games, movies,
Back to
blah
the
blah.
Future is my favorite movie, as you may have guessed from the poster. My favorite, another favorite is up there. You might have noticed the Dipper hat, which Gravity Falls is
Yep,
tied.
Dipper. Yee.
It's tied with Animaniacs for my favorite TV show ever made. When I say Animaniacs, people ask, "Oh, do you mean the reboot, the original?" I mean, like, I kind of group them all together. Though, if you ask me, I think the original is a little better. Even though like me discussing the reboot as someone who really likes Animaniacs would take way too long, and I won't go into it. But I will say that all the voice actors coming back was really nice, and I missed them, and they all did great.
And I am really glad that they came back for that one. Unlike that
Yeah.
other
Uh,
that's yeah.
I don't know why they because like it's tied to reference. Why did they make them siblings?
Why are
They
you gonna
the
ask me?
whole joke was that they weren't. It was weird. I'm not gonna
Not
no shade
really.
to any
Yeah,
of the
let's
voice actors in that either because I'm sure they all
no,
did.
yeah, like I mean for real, it's kind of like a case of like, look, I know they're doing their best, but yeah, for those of us that kind of grew up with watching like the 90s stuff, it's gonna be like, man, like it doesn't really feel the same, but I'm just so glad that they did get the like all of them back for Animaniacs though. That I'm really happy about.
I was so pleased,
Yeah,
and
I'm like,
it
thank
meant that new
God.
episodes of Animaniacs were coming out in my lifetime, and that made me super happy too.
That yeah, during a time where everybody was kind of like losing their minds. I mean, we're all still kind of losing our. It's the 20s decade,
It
so what
hasn't
can
been
you
the same.
expect? Yeah. But no, Animaniacs was that was definitely the show that got me to learn more about like voice casting, like acting, and also just learning about Andrea Romano and all these guys
Andrea
that were
Romano
doing
is
it.
a
Yeah,
like is a goddess
the
among women. Like, oh
beast.
my god.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to see if I got any. I mean, I did get like a wacko googie thing, but it was from Tom and Paul, like those guys,
I have
Tom Ruger
not
and Paul Rudd.
met Tom Ruger and Paul Rugg. I want to meet them both so bad. I
Yeah,
mean, I also want to meet Paul Rugg just because of not only because of his writing work, but also his voice work because he's real good at that too.
yeah. He is a mad
Freakazoid.
genius. Yeah. And I actually do have a Freakazoid poster.
I'm jealous.
Let me see. I think it should be right. Oh wait, I'm in the way. Yep, right
There he
here.
is.
Yep, there he is at the bottom. Why did I?
Underrated. Everyone
Yeah,
talks about the Spielberg shows, and they're right too because they're all really good. But like, Freakazoid is the one that's talked about the least, I think, and it makes me sad.
I'm
Other
just
than
glad that is. Yeah, no, sorry.
other than like Pinky Elmira and the Brain, but that one didn't happen.
Yeah, but Freakazoid was like, I'm so glad that it's making its rounds on the internet because it's like, oh hey, the show is actually kind of,
It aged so well.
exactly when it comes. It's like one of the first shows that you kind of associate with like troll humor and stuff,
Especially
which
because he
aged very
comes
well.
like from the internet and then he has
Yes,
what could only really be described as like humor that really would come from the internet.
exactly. So they did that whole internet humor thing before it really started, picking up the slack.
It was impressive. Like I was surprised seeing it and I'm like, this is just like what post irony humor has become at this point. I'm impressed they got that down like before that even happened.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, man. But same thing with like VeggieTales in that one clip that I keep seeing
The
online.
randomly humor will be
The
randomly
randomly
generated.
generated, yep, the randomly generated humor, because that's pretty much how Gen Z and Alpha pretty
It's
much
how it works.
is pretty
Sometimes
much
with
what it
memes,
is.
I'll be like, you know what? a lot of memes from when I was younger were just as stupid, and then there will be ones that have reached new levels, and I'm like, I don't like that one. I'm sorry.
I mean, each generation has their different taste.
Everyone has at least some stupid thing that we all watched when we were younger.
Yeah, I mean, like, I still remember something like Fanboy and Chum Chum after all
Oh
these
my
years.
god. I remembered seeing it making the rounds again, like on the internet, and I was like, people still remember that show?
I will say this. It is a show if you're just really, really, really bored and just want a show that is just high energy,
Yeah.
overstimulation. This is pretty much your show.
It's like junk food, but for your
It's junk
brain.
food, but like, yeah. I mean, it does its job
It
well. I
does.
will say that.
And it's got, I mean, it's got it's got a good cast in terms of, I mean, Chum Chum is voiced by the same woman who plays Styx.
Sticks. I know.
I love her. She's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, she's really stinking talented too. But yeah, speaking of shows and oh shoot, I don't know if we have much more time. But yeah, anyways, we'll probably talk about this one specific show in the next part that a lot of people seem to. I mean, you've dubbed a lot of Animaniacs, but there's
Yes, I
one
have.
other show that we'll be talking about in the next part that some people may be that you might be familiar with. So, in order to stay tuned for that, that will be in the next part. So, if you like this so far, let me do this real quickly. Where am I? Okay, there we are. So yeah, if you enjoyed this so far, definitely be sure to like, subscribe, and do this YouTube mumbo whatever. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next part as we discuss Steam Universe. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you part two. All right, peace. Alrighty, welcome back. So, let's talk about Steven Universe because I did ask about media. So, I think aside from Animaniacs, what makes Steven Universe such a special show to you? In a way.
Steven Universe is, I mean, other than the fact that it's just a show that I happen to really like, even though some people will be like, if you rewatch it, you're gonna hate it more. I don't know, and let me have this. But Steven Universe, it's one of the shows where I realized that because a lot of the cast is women, that meant a lot of the characters were ones I could conceivably mimic and imitate. And that was like really important to me because it meant that when I was just starting out on YouTube and trying to figure out like, oh, what can I post to like practice my voice work? And I saw a bunch of like Steven Universe comics, I was like, oh, I can dub over those because I can mimic how those characters sound. Decently, anyway. Not all of them are perfect.
Yeah, and this the same kind of apply for Animaniacs in a way.
With Animaniacs, part of it was just because I watched it and loved it very much, and I was like, I want to do something with this. And I tried to, like, mimic the Warners myself just for fun one day, and I realized the one that sounds, the best of the three of them is Dot just because it's a woman voicing a woman, and I'm also a woman voicing a woman. But I tried once to mimic. I think the first one I tried was Yakko just because I was trying to like quote it to myself because I found it hilarious. And like I listened to myself and I was like, I can work with this. And then I worked on it a little bit and then it finally sounded like somewhat close and I was like, oh my God. And then I tried Wacko, which like between the three of them, I don't know how great he sounds. But I tried and I realized again it was at least serviceable on mine and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I was just scrolling through the Tumblrs one day. I saw a blog that did some incorrect quotes from them, and I was like, that is really funny. Oh my God, these are really good. And I was like, wait a minute, I can voice those. And so I started voicing those.
Yeah. Like when it comes to Animaniacs, like my soft spot is always like the 90s one. Because I think when we did this one comic that you can find on my YouTube, and it's done by an incredible artist named Jenny Butler, who
Jenny Butler's
just
a
brilliant.
great artist, yeah.
Yeah. So talking about like giving the pep talk because I'm pretty sure we all need one at some point in our lives. So it was kind of like my first time being like, actually no, I think I did another one, but it was kind of the first one where I'm like, okay, I think I could probably do like a decent Yakko and Wacko, definitely not Dot, but it's just my attempt, and I may do more in the future, but we'll see with my schedule. But no, it was just kind of like a fun way to just practice and just try characters that might not be on your wheelhouse, that might be
Right.
in there, but yeah, just mix and match and see what works.
I could at least like when I was doing the voices, I was like, look, maybe the pitch isn't perfect, but I can at least mimic how they speak, their
Yeah,
intonation. And I'm like, that's enough. That's close
yeah.
enough.
Because it's like with Wacko for me, it's like trying to find the balance of how he was in the Fox Kids or Kids WB or even the new one. So it's kind
Right,
of
he
interesting
started
just
out a
trying to
lot
find.
deeper.
Like Ringo,
It
I used
started
to play with
out
the
just
drums.
as the Ringo impression.
Yeah, it's like a big old Beatles, which they did a couple of Beatles tributes like all throughout the shows. It's
Right.
kind of funny
I
to me.
specifically, I even because of course I know this and I'm a massive nerd, I even know the story of why that happened, which is that uh it was Jess Harnell auditioning for it, who I want to meet him and Tress McNeil so bad. I've met Robin, I've met Maurice, and I have not met Jess and Tress, and I need to meet them. But the like he was coming in and everyone was doing like a weird kooky voice for Wacko because that's his name. And then they were getting tired of it because everyone was essentially doing the same thing. So Andrea was like, let's just have people do impressions. And she was like, I heard you do like an Elvis. Do you do Elvis? And then he did Elvis. And they were like, haha, funny. And then she was like, I heard you do the Beatles. And then, do you want to do that? And he was like, sure, which one? And she's like, "What, don't they all sound the same? And he's like, absolutely not. Jess Cornell mimics all
No.
four of the Beatles differently, which is something that not many voice actors do because they all do kind of sound a little similar.
I mean, it is, but it mostly comes with the placement of the voice.
Mm.
Like
Ringo's the deepest.
yeah, like Ringo is coming from the chest. And then Paul is coming from the back of the throat. George, or no, George is
John,
kind of like nasally, but John is kind of like more front. So
right.
they sound very much vastly different. So I know my demonstration was not really the best, but that's why you got Jess.
That was what Jess is so good at it. And he did the Ringo impression. They were like, that's it, we got him. And then as the show
We're
went
done.
on, he probably figured, you know what, there's more to this character than just doing a Ringo impression. So he made it higher, more like young sounding. And that's how we got to the adorable little voice he is today, which is still inexplicably British.
It is. I mean, it's kind of like a blend between like Ringo and also John,
Mm.
George-ish in a way.
He just became the ultimate Beatle.
The ultimate Beatle, exactly. The fifth Beatle that, the long lost fifth Beatle that we never knew about until now. And that's another funny story that I have with like the brain because Mo was
Oh, the
literally
Orson
the
Welles impression.
yeah, Mo just went in doing Orson Welles. Brain was based on this
He was
writer
one of
named
the writers. Tom
yeah
Minton.
Tom Minton, yeah, who is also another
Great writer.
great writer in his own right. And Pinky was modeled after Eddie Fitzgerald, who are both
Another
were
writer.
WB employees, and they also have a wicked sense of humor. So he walked in, Mo walked in, and he did Orson Welles. They're like, "Oh my god, that we
Perfect.
got it!"
Because
Yeah,
he didn't
the
realize
first one.
it was
He
modeled
didn't even
off of
realize. Yeah,
he didn't know it was modeled off a writer because it kind of does kind of look like Orson Welles with the jowls and the like very
yeah,
large like head and forehead just being very I don't know condescending looking.
yeah.
And and they were like, "Well, we got it." And then they did like multiple pingies and then I think Rob auditioned twice and he got it.
Oh, okay.
Like I think
Because
he
like
tried two voices and they still gave it to him.
yeah. Because what's also really funny about the brain, like when he booked it, and I think Mo kind of told this story once, but the actor that was supposed to go after him was John Delancey, who you know is Discord from my life.
I didn't even
Yeah,
know
no,
John Delancey was auditioning.
yeah, like
I
I'm not
love
even
John
kidding.
Delancey.
Like it was in an interview, and John, no, like Mo was like, yeah, the person who was gonna go after me was John, and they were like, nope, we got it, nope, bye.
That's insane. The weird thing is,
Yeah.
I could totally see John Delancey playing it, but also we got it. Maurice LaMarche was perfect.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. I think for Pinky, like John Aston was considered for Pinky.
I could
So
see that. The
yeah,
but then
he's the
when they went
father
with,
of Sean
well,
Aston, who is also terrific too.
he's also Gomez Adams, the
Oh
original one
yeah,
from the old black and white version of the show.
oh yeah. No, that's a deep cut.
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes because I was like, I want to see what the original is like. He's
Yeah,
so delightful to watch. Like
yeah.
original Gomez is just such a nice guy.
I'm pretty sure he was also on Tasmania as one of the Gators. I don't
That
know.
wouldn't surprise me.
I think he was the short. Yeah, God, man, I should know their name. I know their names, but I don't. Man, I get the two of them mixed up. But I know he was the shorter one in
I know that
text.
he was also very briefly, which I only noticed because I happened to watch Justice League Action, which not many people did,
Mm.
which is sad because it wasn't bad. Like it wasn't Justice League Unlimited or anything because it's kind of hard to be like as good as
I know,
Justice League
like, how do
Unlimited.
you top like peak perfection? I
Exactly,
guess.
but it was still like it was good. It was fun to watch. It had characters I liked, and they had Shazam was voiced by Sean Astin in that one, and so Uncle Dudley was voiced by John Astin.
Of course.
It was really sweet.
Yeah. But no, like when it comes to the DC shows, I know that Batman will always hold such a special place in my heart. And I do also like Superman from what I've seen. I haven't seen
Superman
a
the animated series is
lot
good too.
of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of it. I just mainly know like, oh no, Batman, also Teen Titans,
Mm.
are kind of like the go-to ones for me. Static Shock is also really good because, of
That
course,
Batman
gotta rep.
Beyond.
Yeah, we gotta rep our African black.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Phil Lamar.
Phil
Just
Lamar just being the guy where they were like, "Can we have a representative character?" And he's like, "Okay." Just like, "Hey, we need one for like we need Green Lantern in Justice League, and we're choosing the one who's specifically black. Can we have you for it?" And he's like, "Okay, I'll do it." He always
yeah,
does it.
yeah, and it's like now we're just getting more like African Americans, black, just more representation, diverse actors that are just I mean like Zena
Really nice.
Robinson,
Oh my God, yes.
my friend Shakira Dunn, who else? And yeah, there's so many people.
Oh yeah.
Like my friends that I have on there, like my friend Belle Rusapi, and just all these guys are just terrific. They all, and what's really great is that they don't really exactly have like a same, acting tech. They don't
They don't
like
all
I'm not
sound like the
all
exact
sound
same
like the
person.
exact same. So they do their own thing. They add their own
They're all
flavor,
very different. Yeah.
personality, and that's what I also really love about doing this too. Is like you get to have your personality, have your cake and eat it as well.
Yep.
Say it's a good way of putting it. So yeah, I think we're kind of almost just about wrapping up here. And I don't want to do this, but let's hear let's do like a session where you do your character, just character medley if you want to.
Oh, let me. All right. Off, like I'm trying to think. Top three I can think of that I'm asked to do the most.
Ever since I started doing Dot's voice for myself, people have just decided that I'm the new, like, Tress McNeil substitute, which I could never compare to her, of course. But I do enjoy doing it. It's so small and cute. And then for another character with Dot in the name, you have Peridot, which I've been doing for years now. I haven't done her in like, her voice in a long time now for something, but that's mainly because I think it's because the show ended. But hey, Lars of the Stars is gonna happen. I'm excited. If Peridot doesn't show up, we riot.
The
Just a cameo,
quads.
just a little bit. Come on.
Yeah, those quads.
Those clods.
And I always have to do a little when I do it because Trunks is another one that I get asked to do a lot, which is funny because he's one of the first impressions I ever learned how to do. Him and oddly enough one I never do for anyone else is Marge, so just a lot of characters with scraggly voices for some reason.
And also Goten, who sounds somewhat similar to him, but higher and cuter. So, the best part of that is that I've played Gotenks entirely by myself, and I love doing that. It's really hard to time your voice with yourself, let alone with someone else. I really don't know how Carl Edwards and Alexis Tipton do it. It's impressive.
Oh god, and then someone else in that range is Tails. And Tails I get asked to play for some people sometimes. I really enjoy it. It's Kalina Shaughnessy who, oh my god, I want to meet her so bad. The fact that they put her in the Sonic movie, I was so happy. Because it's not like the celebrity casting was bad in that movie, it was actually really good. But getting at least one of the original cast members just filled my little heart with so much joy. What else do I do? Those are some of the bigger ones.
Yeah, speaking of Sonic, I've voiced Cream a few times for some people. It's so high-pitched and slightly irritating to listen to. My favorite part
started doing it is because my normal voice is so deep. Sometimes I switch back to it in the middle of it, and it's really jarring.
Oh, it's kind of like what you do for the coder. Is that his name?
Wait, which one?
The coder show? Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Coder's video. When I did it for Coder's video, yeah, I've done it for Coder. I've done it, I think, also for Emerald at least once. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I did it during one of his ads where it was like, "Wow, I really want to consume products," which I love doing it. I think it's hilarious. And then some people who don't know who I am when before watching it, which is probably most people, are like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And then people who watch it knowing who I am going in, they're like, "Oh, that's just how she normally sounds." Yeah, that makes sense. It's funny
Yeah.
how many of the characters end up being high pitched, despite the fact that my normal voice is not that high pitched.
Yeah, but I think it lends itself to a couple of characters you've done, which, I mean, I think you did like a Steven Universe like video, like where
I've
you did
done
like a lot of the.
I have done so many Steven Universe ones. Recently, I started a new little series where I decided that I wanted to try the format, which I know it's not originated by him, but I associate it mostly with like Solid JJ because I think that's the one whose videos I watch the most, probably in the top text, bottom text format. I decided to try doing that, and the first one I did was a Dragon Ball one because Dragon Ball is easy to talk about for me. And then I decided, what if I do video where these poor little protagonist babies go to therapy because they need it? And of all the characters I thought of to be a therapist, I was like, I could do Steven. I pitch the voice down every once in a while for myself where it's like, I use Audacity to pitch it like half a note downward, which I don't consider to be cheating too much just because in like funny enough original Animaniacs run originally at the start of the show the voices were pitched up like a little bit and then once they got like the voices completely down they're like we don't need to do that anymore so then they stopped like
Yeah.
the I have never made my voice super deep unless I'm doing it for a joke.
It's like, hey guys, my name is look.
Hey guys, what's up? How are y'all doing?
Hey guys, I promise you I'm 16. I promise. Hey, yeah. Oh my God, why am I going Beavis and Butthead right now? But what was I gonna say? Because when I do characters, like so unless if they specifically ask for it, like if I were doing like a robot like Metal Sonic or something like that, I would add like a robotic builder to it, but I
Mm,
don't really like pitch shift it or
yeah.
anything. Um, I mean,
I don't
unless if
pitch
it's for
shift for
like dramatic
auditions.
effect. Yeah, yeah. I don't really do it either.
I'll pitch
Um,
shift in my own videos, maybe like partially. I would do so for Yakko just because it's like, again, it's always literally, what would you like to pitch shift down? Minus point 0.5. It's just like, okay. And
yeah, that'll work. No one would
just
tell you
because a lot of the
different.
time I'm the only one in my own videos, and I feel like maybe that might help a little bit differentiate who the hell is talking to each other.
Yeah.
But again, I
Um,
never in my life do that in auditions, and I never do it for
no,
anything unless they're
no.
like, do you want to do it? Because like,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's even been like, do it. Your voice is too high. Lower it. I'll do it for myself because I'm paranoid.
Nah, like I never do it neither. I think the only one that I did willingly pitch down was like when I did Big the Cat for like a couple of stuff, but
Oh.
because like back then I just didn't really get like the deep kind of like the gravitas that
Mm.
John St. John or the other actors after
It is
him
so
did.
insane that that's who it is.
Yeah, I know, Duke Nukem, Big the
Duke
Cat, and
Nukem
Omega.
went Froggy.
Hey,
Froggy.
but I mean, I can kind of, naturally go down there. Hey, Froggy, where do you guys want to go fishing with me? So, yeah, and I did that for a recent, like, comic dub a
Oh,
bit.
that's
Because I'm
fine.
like, I would ask somebody, but I'm like, I kind of want to take my shot. So, and plus, I didn't want to, like, ask somebody and wait
I
for a
am
while
always
for
so afraid to
months.
ask people for help, even though I know people who would be like, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, and also just waiting. I mean, not that I have a big issue, but sometimes like waiting can kind of take a while because they
It
got work
depends.
and school. It
Yeah.
depends on scheduling and availability. So,
Depends
yeah.
on that, depends on time zones, it depends on a lot of factors. Meanwhile, if you do everything yourself, then you know when it'll be done because you're doing it.
Yeah, and also with editing and doing having some fun with it.
Right.
Get crazy. But like for YouTube, like was it always something that you wanted to do, or it just is something that just kind of was like, why not?
I mean, my origins on YouTube are much older than the channel I have because there were video I used to make like really horrible Minecraft videos that have all since been privated and or deleted because I will not let
Good old
anyone see those.
Minecraft.
Yeah, the world does not need to see those awful videos I made when I was like 12. But then with my YouTube channel, I figured it would be a good way to like practice doing voice work and also another way to get my name out there. Like people could be like, "Oh, what have you done before?" And it's like, "Well, if you'd like to look at my YouTube channel." And then slowly but surely I started doing it and some people started enjoying what I did, so I kept going with it. And now it's at over 15,000 subscribers, which I mean, for me is a lot. And I'm thankful that people are willing to watch and listen to the stupid little videos I like making.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy. Where like some of your oldest videos you kind of look back on and you're
Oh
just
God.
like, wow. Yeah, I
A lot of my older videos on that channel in particular, I didn't have my microphone yet and I didn't know how to edit, so what I did was I literally just screen recorded in real time and did the voices. I never edited anything out because I didn't know how, and it looks awful and sounds awful.
yeah, well, everybody has to start somewhere.
Some of those videos like got really popular with the algorithm at the time for no apparent reason, and some of them people every once in a while will pop up and be like, I watched this," and I'm like, "Why? Don't, please. This is awful. Don't waste your time, please. Watch something that has like actual effort and quality put into it, please."
Yeah. Boy, that's. I mean, when I first started doing like a lot of videos, I'm just like, I'm probably gonna try this whole comic thing, comic
Mhm.
dubbing that everybody's doing to see how it works out. And I do have a lot of fun with those, but right now my heart is kind of like doing like more original, just type of stuff, which is what I'm doing. And stuff is coming out soon, so yeah, I just kind of branch out into more original works.
Which it specifically it's not as reflective on my YouTube channel just because I'm not like I don't know if I have the confidence to make something without much help, but I mean I'm trying to write more original scripts now at least. But in
Yeah.
terms of what I audition for and what projects I partake in, other than projects that I've been a part of for a while and I just don't want to be like I'm leaving because I don't want to do this anymore because there aren't any projects where I'm like I'm leaving, I hated all of this that I'm in right now. So there are still some things that I'm in where it's like, I'm in some people's comic dubs doing impressions, but a lot of the work I try and audition for now is like, first off, paid. Second, original work. I'm trying to
Yeah.
focus a lot more on that instead.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. Just more original stuff and just working with creators who also have like a really fine vision of what they want for their
Right, I
series
love
and
doing
whatnot.
that. It's so
Yeah.
nice to be able to like see a character that someone else made and then be the person who brings them to life for the first time. I mean, obviously, there's other people involved in that process, writing and animating, if that's what you're doing, etc. But like being the one to like make them speak is just, it's really, it's great.
Yeah. Um, I don't know if I've asked, I don't know if I really did this question very often, like dishing it out to other guests, but I mean, I may have in the past, but I wanted to do like a little section where I just want to focus on this. But for neurodivergence, how would you say that being neuro also helped you learn about life, just with characters, and just really start learning more about acting and just your creative stuff that you've been doing for
Mhm.
so long, so many years? Yeah, so on and so forth.
Uh, with being neurodiverse, funny enough, I think part of it, like part of the reason I'm decent at doing voices is because of the fact that I sort of had to learn what people meant when they said things. I admittedly, when I was younger, I had trouble with tone of voice as well as just how loudly or softly I was speaking. I sort of had to learn to regulate that a lot more, and I think that probably had something to do with then being able to have a bit more control of what I'm doing because I'm more used to it. I'm more used to having to focus on how I'm sounding to someone else if they're perceiving what I'm saying as what I want them to hear or something else entirely, which is always an accident. I also think that having to figure out some social cues that I couldn't really figure out on my own and having to ask about it made me also like pay more attention to how people behave, which I think again adds to acting. Because if you want to act, you have to be able to like know what people do, how they react, and how they just act in situations, so then you can just replicate it. So I think that definitely played a part in it.
Yeah, because from what I've been studying with people that are on the spectrum or ADHD or ADD, like pretty much me, 80 something, neuros, I don't even want to say neurospicy. It's more like neuro triple trouble, I guess. But yeah, that's my quote. That's what I'm going to be using it. I originated it. So
Copyright.
copyrighted. I think for most of us, we just kind of have a more bigger, like, because we don't really understand certain things, but if it's something that we kind of have this fixation towards, it's like, oh, we kind of understand it. We have a different viewpoint than what somebody,
Right.
like, if person X, Y, or Z may look towards it. Like so many characters that we grew up with, SpongeBob, or just any characters that are just, really energetic and happy and just have a positive outlook on life. They see something about the world that not a lot of others can really they really see, which is why it's so fascinating when you see like the SpongeBob or Patrick or Squidward dynamic, because each of those guys, like when you watch SpongeBob or Squidward, their shenanigans, they have different outlooks on life, but they play off
Very
each other
different.
so well, very
Yeah.
different, and that's why their character relationship is still very strong to this very day. And it's like one of the go-to examples of like positive character, extroverted, but you have your introverted, just kind of. I mean, to be fair, Squidward sorta. Let me see. He does have a passion for like his clarinet music, if even if he does it badly. But still, it's
And
like
art,
I
just
don't.
in general.
Yeah, it's just the
He
arts, but
paints.
still, he's like, why am I here at this job? Why am I? But that's
I
what makes
really
them
wish
kind
I
of the
weren't
real.
here right now. The
Yeah, I
button.
really wish I wasn't living through a major historical event. I'm kidding. To that.
I've seen that so many times, and every time I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's like pretty much every day in the 2020s decade, pretty much at this point. Yeah.
It
Yeah, I
never
really
ends.
wish it really never ends. But yeah, yeah. So like all of us feel like we have different we can kind of relate to SpongeBob or Pat or even Squid. Like a lot of us are Squidward, but we can kind of find ourselves that's like a little relatable to the characters the older we get. Um, Especially with Greed, with Mr. Krabs, or just any other minor character.
I like money. Why are you
We
doing
like
this?
money.
Money.
Hello, I like money. Corporations in a nutshell.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Um, Something
Just
else.
the quote that I think of a lot is, "Am I really gonna defile this grave for money? Of course I
Of
am."
course I am.
I think about that one a lot.
I think about that all the time. It's kind of become it's living rent free in my mind as we speak right now. But
I think
no,
with
it's like
oh,
sorry.
sorry.
No, you go.
The thing with the Nerdiverse also is that I think it made me get attached to the characters I like so much faster. And so the fact that I was able to imitate them, part of that was just me being like, I like this character so much. Let me be them for a bit.
Yeah. Exactamundo. And just going back to the whole like yeah, because you do naturally have a sort of like a deeper resonance in your voice, so hearing you go like high pitch like that is like, super just wow. Because I also kind of have a like somewhat of a deep voice ish tenor, but if I was able to go high pitch, which I'm not gonna do right now, like I could probably do that just as like a joke or anything, but not like to actually create a character. I mean, you can do impressions and just mix it around a little bit, and then
If you
boom, it
mix multiple
becomes
impressions together, that becomes its own
like Mo
character.
did for The Brain or
Yeah,
Simpson, all these shows, bad
I mean,
impressions.
Zap Brannigan is an impression of both the the late great Phil Hartman and also a
Oh
sort of an
yeah,
impression of Shatner at the same time.
yeah, a little bit of both. So you just never know. No one will ever know.
They won't know unless you tell them. And if you don't tell them, then that's great. No one will ever have to know.
Exactly. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Share any final thoughts or advice that you want to close out this interview with, and plug social media, upcoming projects, that whole shebang.
Mhm. I'll start with plugs because I need to make sure that I do that for once. I mean, I mentioned my YouTube channel. It'll probably, hopefully, be linked somewhere. And so, my YouTube channel, if you want to check that out, I make videos. It's starting to be twice a week now instead of the usual once, which it used to be. But yep, I make videos there. Please consider watching and subscribing and enjoying. I hope you enjoy, regardless of if you do those other things. On social media, I mostly use the cool artist 1110 at, which I mean, those don't really have too much to do with it, other than sometimes I'll repost some of my stuff that I do on there. Otherwise, it's mostly me rambling about things if you care for that. And there's also, in terms of upcoming projects, I mean, one of the things is that there's always on my YouTube channels, there's always the things I'm in playlist to just check out because that has everything that's on YouTube that I've ever been in to my knowledge. In terms of upcoming things, there's the show called The Unprofessionals that I'm being a part of that I believe has a Patreon or Kickstarter, I forget which one of those, that I get to be a part of, which it's really great so far. I would like I got on I'm honored I got cast in it. I'm excited for the pilot to come out whenever we manage to get it out there. But it's good. I think people should watch it when it comes out and support it if they can. Don't don't do it at your own expense, please. There's also just anything else I'm in. I mean, with Corby's videos, there's all the Sonic comics that I've been a part of there, where even though with Sonic a lot of times it's impressions, it at least is an original voice I'm doing for Belle the Tinkerer, which I love that character and I love doing her voice, which if it is slightly parodish the more you listen to it. But yeah, that's all the stuff I can think of to plug.
Oh, and as for final advice,
Right.
thoughts?
As for final advice, I mean, things are crazy and have been since 2020 started, really. There's a lot that's always happening, I feel like. And I think everyone has been finding it just hard to sort of muddle through. Something that's just been helping me is that we're all muddling through it together. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. Not all of it's great. Sometimes it's hard to focus on the stuff that's actually good about it, even though we try. I think the important thing is that there are people out there, friends and family, who are going to be there to help you get through it. And that's how I've been getting through it, is by talking to people who I like and who I care about, and people who support what I want to do. Find people who support like your passions.
Yeah, for like, because you did mention, like, I think it was like years ago at this point that you kind of did dabble a little bit into like musical theater or just
Mm.
acting stage. So, how did that help you along the way?
Acting on the stage, I mean, the thing about it is, I won't say I've done it professionally. I did it in my college and in my high school, and then a little bit on another stage, but that was for like a camp thing, which I still did need to get cast for that though, as opposed to just getting in it because I was in something. So there's that. I got a part. But I think the most important part about like doing stuff on stage is the fact that everyone who's a voice actor has said this, voice acting is still acting. You need to know how to act in order to voice act. Not everything on the stage ends up being applicable to voice work, especially in terms of like a certain amount of projecting or over dramatizing, because on the stage you kind of need to, because you need everyone, even in the back, to hear and see you. But in terms of just establishing how to play a character, how to take direction, how to cold read and then memorize lines, which voice acting, you don't need to memorize them as much, but it's still helpful if you're familiar with them or can get familiar fast. I think that it's at least worthwhile to try. I think taking acting classes can help. I think it depends on who's running them. I mean, there's definitely some out there that are just run by people who are like, I never got like figured out how to act, but I can charge people to pretend I know. But then there are people who do classes who, have actually done things in the past and have found their own success and are willing to share that with people. I think that's great.
Yeah, and for your experience doing these classes, because I think you did one with Charlie Aller and
I
some others.
have
So, yeah, tell us about it real quick.
doing voiceover classes. I've done a handful, though the longest and most, I guess, intensive one was with Charlie Adler, which I'm honored that I got to do it at all because he's such like a titan of the industry. I think it's nice not just to have someone who's like been in the industry tell you, like give you advice, tell you what you're doing. I think also it's really nice knowing that a lot of the time, if you have a class together, you end up meeting other people who have the same sort of passions as you do. And so not only will the person teaching help you, but you also learn, like, you can also help each other. In the future, you can call upon each other if need be for like projects and creative endeavors. I think it's helpful to just get other voices in there besides your own in your head because a lot of the time with voice work you end up having to self-direct, which is fine, and I mean most of what I do at this point is probably just self-directing, but it's nice having someone give you some feedback that isn't you because a lot of the time you'll be your own worst critic. So it is kind of nice to have someone be like, "No, no, that was fine. That was good."
Yeah, and I'm glad that the Disney Artist Program has kind of been going well.
The
Even
college
with those,
program.
the college, yeah.
Yeah, that was it was less arts related and more just working for Disney for 4 months, working at Disney World, which to be fair, some pretty cool stuff did happen. First off, if you do it, you do get into the parks for free while you're working, which is that's great. And also, because at the time they were filming for the Rock and Roller Coaster, we did get to meet two Muppet performers, and that was so cool.
Lucky.
I'm that was so amazing.
Yeah. And I also do this from time to time, but since you do like song covers, can we hear like a little snippet?
Oh, damn. Sure, but I don't know which song.
It could just be anything.
Hmm, let's see. I'm t Sonic is on my brain because of the posters and some of the impressions. Uh, can you feel the sunshine? Does it brighten up your day? Don't you feel that sometimes you just need to run away? How was that?
There we go. Yeah,
Thank you.
pretty perfect. Just a pretty nice note to end the little interview on. But do you have any final goodbye or anything closing stuff?
I think I'm good.
Yeah. And on my end, let me see. What's my outro? Stay tuned and continue to prosper on a planet as big and blue as me. Now that is happening. There you go. That's my Sonic. Yeah, so I try my best to just differentiate between Sonic and Silver because Silver is more nasal. Sonic is kind of
Right.
more like diaphragmic, so is and Shadow is kind of so
Edgier.
there's your little free differentiate voiceover lesson for all of you guys. Spontaneous. Oh my gosh. But yeah, thank you so much for watching for reals. We really hope you had a good time and thankfully, prayerfully it's not anywhere near as long as it was last time.
Yeah.
Regardless, thank you so much and I'll see you all next time whenever a new episode is coming out. Have a huge backlog. It's crazy. So take care, y'all. Love and peace. Love and peace. Like Batch from Trigon. So until next time, take care, take it easy, and yeah. Good night, everybody. Oh, do you want to say goodbye as a character?
If you like,
Yeah.
I'll do it too.
Mwah! Good night, everybody.
Perfect. Yakko Wacko and died. Let's go. Alrighty. So with that, take care and have a good one. Peace. Hasta la vista. Woohoo.